Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So we've got this interesting set of sources today, and they're suggesting something kind of counterintuitive, that some of our go-to healthy vegetable combinations might actually be, well, messing things up a bit.
Yeah, it's fascinating. We're looking at food combining, specifically how certain pairings can maybe cause bloating or block nutrients, even undermine your health goals.
Right. So the mission today is really to optimize. How do we make sure what we eat and how we combine it actually works for us?
Exactly. It's not just the what, it's the how.
Ah,
And this is key for, gut health, people hitting the gym, anyone with a sensitive stomach, really. Maximize those nutrients, minimize the trouble.
okay, let's dive in. First up, the combinations to maybe avoid. And this one surprised me. Raw cruciferous veggies, so broccoli, kale, paired with foods high in iodine like iodized salt or, say, salmon. Why is that a potential issue?
Well, it comes down to the thyroid. See, raw cruciferous vegetables contain these things called goitrogens.
Oestrogens.
And what they do is they can sort of block your thyroid's ability to absorb and use iodine effectively.
Wow.
So if you're someone already prone to thyroid issues or perhaps concerned about it, eating a lot of raw kale with your iodized salt or salmon, it's something to be mindful of.
So what's the fix? Just avoid them together entirely?
Not necessarily. The key thing actually is cooking. Cooking those veggies, steaming, roasting, whatever, it significantly reduces those goitrogens, makes them much less problematic.
Okay, cooking is key. Got it.
Yeah.
Now, what about melons? The sources are pretty insistent here.
Yeah.
Melon plus almost anything else is bad news.
Yeah, melons are kind of unique. They digest really fast, super quick transit time through the stomach,
Faster than other foods.
much faster. So if you eat melon alongside something that digests slowly, like fats, proteins, even heavy starches, the melon basically gets stuck in traffic.
Oh, okay.
It's ready to go, but it has to wait.
Yeah.
And because it's high in sugar and water, when it sits there too long in the stomach,
It ferments.
exactly, it starts to ferment, creates gas, acidity, that feeling of bloating or discomfort. So the advice is generally eat melon alone, maybe as a snack, often best in the morning on an empty stomach.
Makes sense. Okay, another common one, maybe in smoothies. Milk plus citrus, like
Oh.
orange juice or lemon.
Right, this one's about pH. Citrus fruits are very acidic, right? Low pH.
Yeah.
Milk protein, casein, is sensitive to acid. So when that high acid from the orange juice hits the milk in your stomach,
It curdles, like when you make cheese.
sort of, yeah, it causes the casein to clump up or curdle prematurely. Your stomach acid would do this eventually, but the citrus does it fast and maybe more intensely than ideal right at the start.
Eating too.
Indigestion, that heavy feeling, maybe some reflux, especially, for teens or older adults, people whose digestion might be a little less robust.
Okay, so those are the potential roadblocks. Let's flip it. What about combinations that boost things, creating synergy?
Absolutely. This is where combining gets really powerful. A classic example, fat-soluble vegetables with healthy fats.
So things like carrots, sweet potatoes, kale again.
Exactly. And pairing them with olive oil, avocado, maybe some nuts or seeds.
Why does that work so well?
Because vitamins A, D, E, and K, the fat-soluble vitamins abundant in those veggies, they need fat to be absorbed.
Wait, so if I just eat like plain steamed carrots, I'm not getting all the vitamin A.
You're getting some, but you won't absorb nearly as much as you would if you had them with a little olive oil or some avocado. The fat acts like a transport vehicle, basically, carrying those vitamins from your gut into your bloodstream. No fat, less transport.
Good to know. What about iron, especially for plant-based eaters?
Great point. So plant-based iron or non-heme iron found in spinach, lentils, beans, it's harder for our bodies to absorb than heme iron from meat.
Right, but
If you pair those non-heme iron sources with foods rich in vitamin C,
like tomatoes, bell peppers, citrus again.
exactly. Vitamin C dramatically increases the absorption of that non-heme iron. It chemically changes it, making it much more available for your body to actually use. So think spinach salad with bell peppers or lentils with tomato sauce.
So it really is about smart combinations. Now,
No.
underlying all this seems to be enzymes in these things called anti-nutrients. Can we unpack that a bit? You mentioned spinach.
Right. Let's talk oxalates. Raw spinach, chard, beet greens, they're quite high in oxalate.
Oxalates are.
They're natural compounds in plants, but they can act as chelators. Think of them like little claws that bind onto minerals, especially calcium and iron.
So they grab the minerals before we can absorb them.
Precisely. They form insoluble compounds, making those minerals unavailable to you. Again, cooking even just wilting spinach helps reduce this effect significantly.
Okay. And what about nightshades? Potatoes, eggplant, peppers, tomatoes, they sometimes get a bad rap.
They contain compounds called alkaloids, like solanine in potatoes, especially if they're green. These are part of the plant's natural defense system.
Toxins, basically.
Mild toxins, yes. But the key here, again, is cooking. Heat breaks down these alkaloids substantially. That's why we cook potatoes and eggplant thoroughly. Raw or green potatoes, not a good idea because the solanine levels can be high enough to cause issues, but cooked nightshades are fine for most people.
So putting this all together for you, the listener, it sounds like the big takeaways are about how you prepare food and when you eat certain combinations.
Exactly. Preparation is key. Cooking often neutralizes things like goitrogens and oxalates and breaks down alkaloids.
And timing matters too, right? Like with the melons.
Yes, and also maybe when you eat your heavier meals, digestion is generally strongest around lunchtime, so that might be the best time for more complex cooked vegetable combinations. Maybe avoid really heavy complex combos late at night when your digestive system is naturally slowing down.
So it boils down to maybe 3 pillars.
I like that. Yeah. Preparation, cook strategically. Timing, respect your body's rhythm. And synergy, combine foods smartly to boost absorption.
A great summary. Optimizing the plate, not just filling it.
Absolutely. And thinking about all this, particularly the anti-nutrients like oxalates, it raises a final thought for you to consider. If we know raw spinach and other foods are high in oxalates, and oxalates can bind minerals, how might carefully monitoring your intake of high oxalate foods be particularly important if you're someone already prone to developing kidney stones? Worth thinking about.